Right, we've spoken a lot on the channel about what's going on behind the scenes at Celtic. The big difference now that we're doing this video is that the league is officially away. We spoke about that earlier in the week, so check that video as well. But with regards to what we're going to speak about now, the title is now gone. What can we expect to see from Celtic? We've spoken a lot on the channel about the order of what needs to happen with regards to director of football and then a manager being appointed and then player recruitment. We've also, I think, all kind of agreed that maybe not much would happen until the league was mathematically done. The league is now mathematically done. Jackie, do you see anything happening in the short term at Celtic, or is it still going to be end of the season when we start seeing changes?
To be honest, it's a tough one to call. I thought before it was going to be end of the season, but I think just the way it's panned out the last couple of games, since John's taken over, we're not winning at Dundee United. You're seeing the same things happening. I think for the fans, there needs to be some kind of statement from the club. In terms of we spoke about director of football. I think that's really, really important that gets done first, and I think that has to come really quickly now. Mm-hmm. I think that's. For a lot of reasons, the new chief exec doesn't come into July. Peter's there till July, but there's a lot of things need to be put in place. I think we need a whole new management team, the director of football to pick that, and pick the players as well, the recruitment side of it, which is going to be a massive turnaround this season. It's we spoke about the players that got into their last years of the contract, which the club can't really afford to do that, so I think if they don't re-sign, they'll be moved on, and there's a number of the players that fall into that category that are in the first team just now, and players that aren't going to play, they need to move them on that are not surplus to requirements, that aren't going to feature, but I think first things first is to sort out the management stuff and get that in place sooner. I think if they get someone in for the last number of games, it lets them come in and evaluate the squad, lets them see the squad, work with them day to day, to look at their characters, check them out from, you do get some guys that are fantastic in training, but it comes to a game and they seem to go somewhere else. So I think for that side, it would give a new person, a new manager, a good look over the squad as a whole, and to make the decisions, moving forward, the ones you'd want to keep and build a team around.
I wrote something on the site earlier this week, basically saying that the fight back has to start now, and if it doesn't, then we could possibly kiss goodbye to a title next season as well. And that's my genuine feeling on it. And like we've all said it, that's the order of the way things need to happen. And I think your point about bringing in a director of football as quickly as possible is really pertinent now. That's the most important thing now, and I'm even looking in this 2-week period before the Rangers game to give the support a boost, to try and get this recruitment search sorted out for whoever it is that comes in. We know that the club have been searching, we know they've been using this recruitment agency to bring in this technical role. I'm really wanting an announcement on the director of football sooner rather than later, Hamish, because if the director of football doesn't come in the next 2 weeks, when's the manager going to come in? And you're looking at the summer qualifiers, and realistically you can count down to that in terms of weeks rather than months. That's the situation we're in.
Well, I did a wee bit of research, as I like to do from time to time, with regards to when we've appointed managers in the past. Now, first time Neil Lennon came in, we appointed him on the 9th of June. Ronnie Dyler was the 6th of June. Brendan Rodgers, as you'll probably remember, was the end of May, I think the day before the Scottish Cup final. And Neil Lennon, the second time, was the day of the Scottish Cup final. So again, the end of May. So by that logic, in terms of the manager, the chances of us getting anything in the next 2 months is probably pretty small. But I think the sporting director is probably the one we should touch on here. Jackie, what's the importance from a fan's point of view of getting someone in soon and giving the support a boost? Because we are at the lowest probably we've been in God knows how long, and if we were to appoint someone new with a decent track record who could come into the club and could get to work as soon as possible, it would give the entire support a bit of a boost.
Yeah, I think that's it's a good point. I think the fans would see that and see the communication start right away. And there's a plan and there's a structure in place. Because they don't, then it looks like I think when Neil came in from Brendan and then got the job permanent, everybody's like, "Oh, it's a cheap option." But if there's someone in place at that point, they can explain things to the fans why he's the right man, why what he's done, and you go, "Yeah, yeah, I get that." I thought Neil was the right person at the time when he first got it from Brendan, and it's shown to be the right person at that point and getting over a line. I know people will say, well, it was Brendan's team, it was there, but still, when a manager leaves and someone comes in, there's sometimes a lot of uncertainty. I think what Neil needed was someone in his backroom team that was really hands-on, that would take control of how he wants to play, how they want to set up, but also someone above him, be in between him and Peter at the time that would, communicate a lot of things, because that's the thing that we've said most of the season, that Neil's been coming out and saying certain things about that some players don't want to be here, needs to be culture change, this, he's answering things that are non-football related. His focus should be the team, the tactics, things like that, focusing the game to win the game. The stuff with the football, the players should be held higher, and that would take away a lot of the sort of press conference. You come out after it and go, wonder who he's talking about. I wonder what's going on there. It ends up giving more questions after it, and it takes away that burden, because as a manager you protect players. You're not going to come out and say, well, this guy's a joke, he doesn't want to be here, he's not bothered about 10 in a row. So as a manager you protect players all the time, because you need them. You need them to turn up, you need them to play, you need them to perform, to keep you in the job, to keep the team winning. So it's not just the Saturday, as I've seen a lot of times this season, and you can see in a lot of his interviews that he's ready to explode and probably tell you what he wants to tell you. I'm surprised with Lenny that he hasn't actually come out and named names throughout the team. But I think having a director of football, somebody else there to take that it's not a burden, it's just responsibility. Communication, because as I said many a time, the club isn't just Peter Law and Neil Lennon this season. There's a lot of people working at the club. But
Yeah.
they're the two that take it, and obviously the board have turned on the board. But you have sports scientists, you get physios, you get coaches, assistant managers, right the way through, and everybody plays their part in the success of the club. And it's not just the success when they win, that they take part in. It's everything that goes alongside it. They're all in it together, but unfortunately they're the two that take the rap when everything goes wrong, as they have this season. So I think from that side, I think that would help the fans know that there's a structure in place. There's, everybody's accountable at the football club right the way through, from the academy right the through. If someone in the academy's not performing properly, why is it not performing? Where's wrong with the coaching? Why are the kids not getting into the first team? What's happening to them? So I think that's imperative. I think the new guy to come in, the new chief exec, he'll be purely business side to make sure everything's running properly in the business. So I think you need someone underneath that in the football side to make sure that everything's running properly.
Jackie summed it up for me, Hamish. I said it better than I ever could, probably. Yeah, that basically covers it for me. That's everything that needs to happen between now and the summer, that we need someone in place there. Hamish, I've just got one last question for you before we go. Where is Peter Lawwell? Where is Dermot Desmond? Where is Ian Bankier? We've not heard anything from them since Lennon left. It's a shambles.
Yeah, I think they're probably somewhere sitting in shock that Rangers have won the league. I genuinely believe that even as late as January, they were all sitting, expecting us to still win the league, Rangers to bottle in it as they have in previous years, and us to go on a winning run and clinch the league. And it was clear to us three, it was clear to any supporter with a football brain that wasn't going to happen at that stage. That the league had pretty much gone. I agree. I think we've got to hear from them. Another just brief thing to bring in at the end of the video. For me, why is Peter Lawwell leaving on June the 30th, 6 weeks after the end of the season, and why is Dominic Mackay not coming in till the following day? Like, what a waste of time that is. I mean, there may be a business reason. Maybe that's when business contracts end. I don't know. But the football season ends at the end of May. Why not get Dominic Mackay in a month earlier? Even if Peter Lawwell's still there, have a transition period. I think, John, you touched on it in yesterday's video. That's something that definitely has to change. Because we've got a major summer ahead of us, and it just the time frame there of June the 30th, July the 1st just doesn't work in terms of Celtic, because we'll be playing games a matter of weeks later and we've got all of the work to do. So yeah, it's a busy time ahead. We need to give the fans, we need to give us something to be excited about. We need to be doing these videos chatting about something exciting and not just bemoaning another poor performance. In one word, John, are we going to see that excitement in the next month or so, or are we going to be sitting here doing the same videos?
I'd be very I can't answer anything in one word, Hamish. So, I'd be very frustrated if nothing happens in the next month. Let's put it that way.
Jackie?
Same, yeah. I think it has to. I think it has to. I think for the fans, I think they need that communication. They need to know that, as you say, that I think with the new guy coming in, it's clearly that he has obligations that he's either work with the rugby, that he can't start then. I think that's maybe why Peter's waiting till then before he leaves and he comes in. But I still think there's a lot of things can be done before that, and I think the director of football to get on with things now, get things moving. That the fans want to see something happening just now. There's no, as you say, there's no communication. John Kenny's just dealing with the game to game just now. He doesn't know what's going on. The players don't know what's going on. So until you have that, communication with everybody, and we all know what's going on and what's going to happen, then it's just going to cause more problems.
John, what will happen first? Celtic making some sort of appointment, whether it managerial or head of recruitment, or us getting to 12,000 subs?
I'd like it to be 12,000 subs. Just do it in the next 2 weeks and then announce the sporting director and everyone's happy.
That's it. We're over 11k now, so if you're watching this video and you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make John's wish come true and sub. See that wee link, guys? We'll leave it there. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon.